going to take a look at how you drop your racket to the floor to gain massive power through your forehand drive. I've got Taisha here with Sarah, and we're going to show you just a minor difference, which I believe would make a terrific difference to Taisha's game if she adopts this a little bit more. As we follow through, we'll see what happens. I've got a few lines on the screen, as you can see, and you'll see Sarah she's got her body really engaged big time. I've got lines which follow the wrist roughly anyway, and you'll see that as we come down on the left hand frame, you see at that point there, so the movement that Sarah's made has been straightened down to the floor a lot more. So this has been a lot more down to the floor rather than forward through to striking the ball. So the motion has been, body motion has been moving forward. So body motion has been going this way, and the racket has been going down to the floor, versus driving everything forwards, more so forwards, and body motion is moving forward at the same time. So it really is interesting at the early move, at the early stage, where you drive your racket down, and then you'll see as we follow through on the left hand frame still, you'll see that we come forward. See the wrists do go below that further as well, and through to point of impact. So that driving down to the floor gives you a really big direction to be able to drive your racket toward the front wall really late. So this gap from here through to here is really quite good. It's much bigger than this from here to here. So the power generated of the forward motion really late is really dynamic. It's really good, and it all comes from that early drop of your racket down to the floor as you come forward. Now if we take a look at our right hand frame, if I go back to the start to there, okay, if we watch the wrist as it comes down, what you notice is, I'll just go back a couple more frames there. Okay, you notice that generally what happens is the racket needs to start from a high position. So you see over here on this one, we've got Sarah who started around about eye height, and Taisha, actually you have to duck back a couple of frames. So Taisha is about, let's say, chin height or thereabouts, and Sarah has her racket up at eye height. So that's really quite interesting. These are not exactly the same shots, by the way, from side to side. So in this one on the right hand side, racket is much higher. She's gone eye height there, and Sarah's gone even above head height with her racket. So it does vary a little bit depending on the position and how well balanced you are and so on. But Sarah is generally much higher at every single opportunity. She'll have her racket extremely high. The other big thing you notice, which is an absolute critical point for racket drop, is Sarah's elbow. So if we have a look through here, you'll see Sarah's elbow is right up here, big time up here. Very evident in this picture here. So her elbow is very high right up through here, whereas Taisha's elbow is really right down here. Now that is just making an unbelievable difference, because if you watch what happens with that elbow, and that's where she gets her drop from. So the drop is all from elbow here, so it's dropped down, elbow comes down. See, Taisha's elbow is already there, so Sarah's just getting primed power right now down to the floor. That drop to the floor there, elbow, still coming down, and now Taisha's elbow is going forward while Sarah's is still coming down. So that is really just giving her some serious late power for Sarah. This position here is a position of real driving through of your body at the same time as you bring your arm through as well. So that drop of the racket at the back, it really is a really important one. The way you get it is to lift your elbow, keep your elbow really high for the early prep. The other thing on the right hand side, as you see, is the angle of swing that it's given Sarah. It's allowed her to drive the racket down to the floor more rather than push towards the front wall. So this angle down here is really quite good down to the floor. It allows you to cut more, which stops you giving the full face of the racket to the ball, and it allows you to get a lot of slice on the ball and so on as well. This is when you cut with let's say a less of an angle, you tend to push the racket more towards the front wall. It still gives you reasonable power and everything, but it's still not as dynamic or not as controlled. if you like. So it's racket down to the floor with a high elbow at the start. Do a lot of work at the back of your body rather than in the front of your body. So Taisha is doing a lot of work through here, where Sarah's doing a lot of work down here, and that's the big number one difference of this whole power through the early preparation and control of your body by using your arm and your body at the right time. And you'll see it's a massive difference. Hope this helps.